watching the bonus material for the DVD opening. Alright, here we go. Dimension home video. Mississippi.
Remember the idea of the Sin City movie being around back in the early 90s, but I never thought, how could they ever adapt it? It would just become a regular movie. It wouldn't have the same feel. I started really looking at it as, instead of trying to turn it into a movie, which would be terrible, let's take cinema and try and make it into this book. Because the mediums really are very similar. These are just snapshots of movement.
Of all the principles involved in this, I've been the most startled by how faithful it is to the original.
The Sin City is this film noir landscape, and basically one of the things that's great about the way Frank writes, this was Frank's way to create a complete universe to go as hard and as harsh as he wanted to, all right? And make it be as ghoulishly funny and as, gallows humor, cryptic funny. It's not just these stories, and it's not just these characters, and it's not just this city. There's an entire mythology about this entire piece, and I like the idea of creating your own mythology.
I was a hard sell. I've got a good life drawing the comic books, and there's really no need to let anybody have a baby. And I held to that fine until this Rodriguez guy started bugging my attorney and then my editor and hunting me down like a wild dog. And essentially, I was seduced. Robert showed up at our first meeting. He whipped open his laptop, and he'd already done some test shots of how he wanted to photograph actors and how to stage things. That really looked damn good.
I don't want to make Robert Rodriguez's Sin City. I want to make Frank Miller's Sin City because I love that material so much.
And he said, how about I fly you to Texas? We'll just do a test in one day. He called it a test. We'll see how it works out. He said the worst possible thing is we'll end up with a cool little short film and, part ways. Maybe you'll agree to do this. And I thought, what are you going to do in a day? I'd been on movie sets. In a day, you have somebody fill a coffee cup. And in 10 hours, he shot an entire 3-page short story of mine. This so-called test happened to include 2 very accomplished actors and be a completely polished piece of work that's going to be the movie.
I let her hear my footsteps. She only goes stiff for a moment. Robert just basically came to me and said, I'm doing this graphic novel, putting it and making it into a movie. I don't have the rights to it, and I need somebody to come down and help me convince him to, let us go ahead with it. You're sick of running. You're ready to face what you have to face. You don't want to face it alone.
When I saw it, it just looked so amazing. It was just so great, and it was like true Frank Miller drawings. It's like, it's the real Sin City cityscape.
And it became a great sales tool to take around to show all the other actors because we were moving so fast. To say, this is the book, and this is what we're going to do. In fact, here's the opening into the credits. And we'd show people like Bruce Willis the sequence. And it already had his name in the credits.
I started watching it, and about a minute in, I
I said, hang on a second. I hit pause. I said, whatever else I see on this, I just want you to know that I'm in. I want to do this.
Action. Here we go, back the other direction, and go.
When we were casting all these parts, strange things started happening. People showed up who looked like my drawings. When we first see Hartigan, he's an honest cop, which is a rare thing in Sin City. He's unsettled because there's one remaining thing that he hasn't taken care of.
I play Nancy Callahan. She is an exotic dancer who was kidnapped when she was a kid.
Maybe I should drive.
Not a chance. Nobody but me can keep this heat running. If in her wildest dreams her knight in shining armor ever comes back, she's ready for him.
Blood for blood and burn a gallon. Playing a guy named Marv.
Mickey Rourke is just so beyond fantastic for this role.
I'll be right out.
It's almost like Frank Miller gave birth to him. All right, you know, he drew Marv and created an actor who could play Marv.
We sat and talked for about half an hour, and the only note I was able to write down was, met Mickey Rourke, he is Marv.
When I was looking through the comic book, I didn't know which character he wanted me to do. Then I saw it was the character of Marv, and I got real excited because it was this far-out-looking cat that had some interesting things to say and do, and I thought, wow, this is going to be different and fun, and it's been a real hoot, you know, every day working.
Shelley sort of links together all three stories. She's a waitress at the local watering hole. She's scared out of her mind, but trying at the same time to be an independent woman. Keep your hands to yourself, or I'll cut your little pecker off.
You looked at that and you went, that's some pretty powerful stuff, mister. That's straight out of your book, Frank.
In the car, baby. We'll just talk. It'll be nice. It's that character who became a hero and then got lost in the glory of it, turned into a bully, you know, self-centered madman, you know, with a license to kill. You're making a big mistake. A big mistake. You know, perfect villain. And he gets his due.
I play Gail, who is comfortable walking around in thigh-high leather-strap stilettos with an Uzi and handcuffs. And Frank's an insane man for drawing it.
Dwight is violent, but he is a bit of a... He's got a bit of a soft spot for the girls.
I forgot how quick you are.
That was great. That was great. That was really great.
Good.
Cut?
Cut it, cut.
It was fascinating working with Clanton.
Robert always talks about like 3 projects in advance, and at some point he mentioned it once, like just in passing.
I didn't want to tell him what it was yet because I didn't have the rights to it yet. Then I wanted him to come down and, you know, shoot the short story for it. So he could try out digital, so he could see how it is to work with actors in the digital realm, and I thought he would like the source material once he found out what it was.
Well, remember you showed up at the editing room for a spotting session. You walked in with Frank Miller, and that was when I realized. All right, one, I was like, Frank Miller. All right, you know, my assistant editor is a gigantic comic book geek, and like it was like one of the happiest days of his life. And I even remember as we go into the room, he was outside in the room. I said, Frank Miller. Yes.
I think it's an exciting thing to try and turn into a film.
Honestly, audiences are going to be blown away.
Can't wait to see it when it's done. You know, really can, because I think it's going to be a really special little thing that he's done.
In a lot of ways, this movie's quite literally like having a dream come true.
Walk down the right back alley in Sin City, and you can find anything.
Sin City.